Few rulers in history have dared to challenge celestial bodies, but leave it to King Mihir Bhoja of the Gurjara-Pratihara dynasty to reach for the crown of absurdity. While most monarchs busied themselves with earthly conquests, Mihir Bhoja, not one to be outdone, reportedly decided to declare war on the sun itself. Yes, the sun, the giant burning ball of gas approximately 93 million miles away. Talk about ambition. The story begins, as most grandiose disasters do, with a moment of inconvenience. Legend has it that the king, resplendent in his royal regalia, was holding court one fine afternoon when a particularly audacious sunray pierced through his gathering, striking him square in the face. The king, understandably affronted, did what any self-respecting medieval ruler would do. He interpreted it as a personal attack. After all, why wouldn't the sun target the most powerful man in the land? This wasn't just a stray beam of light, it was a celestial act of war. Enraged and blinded by a mix of sunlight and hubris, Mihir Bhoja issued a royal decree. The sun was to be taught a lesson. Armies were to be mobilized, strategies drawn, and weapons forged. While his generals exchanged uneasy glances, none dared question the king's wisdom. After all, arguing with a ruler who just declared war on a star was akin to volunteering for exile, or worse. And so the king's mighty army prepared for battle. Whether they were to march east at dawn or west at dusk is unclear, and likely irrelevant given the sun's penchant for staying out of reach. Soldiers reportedly aimed arrows skyward, while priests were summoned to chant curses against the celestial offender. The blacksmiths, perhaps the most pragmatic of the lot, reportedly forged shields to reflect sunlight. A valiant, if scientifically questionable, attempt at defense. As one might expect, the campaign against the sun was not a resounding success in the traditional sense. The sun continued its daily routine, rising and setting with stoic indifference to the king's tantrum. However, legends suggest that Mihir Bhoja later proclaimed victory, interpreting a cloudy day as a sign of the sun's submission. Never let it be said that medieval kings lacked creativity in spinning a good narrative. The tale of Mihir Bhoja's war against the sun has been passed down not for its historical accuracy, but as a cautionary and hilariously absurd story about the dangers of unchecked arrogance. Whether or not the event actually transpired, it encapsulates the larger-than-life persona of rulers who saw themselves as divinely ordained to control not just their subjects, but the forces of nature itself. Today, Mihir Bhoja is remembered as a powerful ruler who significantly strengthened the Gurjara-Pratihara dynasty. But it is this anecdote, a mix of myth, exaggeration, and historical satire, that casts him in a different light. Quite literally, in fact, as he remains the only king to have allegedly battled with photons. In the end, the sun shone on, the earth revolved as always, and Mihir Bhoja's place in history was secured, not as a conqueror of stars, but as a shining example of why even kings should invest in curtains.